God's word says, open quotes, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident. One thing I have desired of the Lord that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle he shall hide me. He shall set me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me. Therefore I will offer sacrifices of joy in his tabernacle. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord." Close quotes. Psalm 27 begins with a powerful declaration of confidence. "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" This statement is central for those facing fear and uncertainty. In today's world, spiritual, emotional, and even physical darkness can surround us. Life's challenges, external threats, and hidden dangers can easily shake us. However, David, the author of this psalm, reminds us that the Lord is our light, the source that illuminates our path and dispels darkness. When we place our trust in him, fear cannot dominate us. This is a timeless truth that offers comfort and guidance to all facing difficult times. The psalm continues to highlight divine protection. "The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" This metaphor of strength reinforces the idea that despite our fragility, God is the solid rock we can lean on. He gives us the strength to continue, even when we feel weak. Trusting in God as our source of strength enables us to face challenges with courage, knowing we are not alone in our struggles. David does not deny the existence of enemies and difficulties. He acknowledges that, when the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell. This is a promise that although adversity will come, it will not prevail. In today's world, where dangers may not be physical, but emotional, spiritual, or relational, this verse assures us that God deals with our enemies. Often, our greatest adversaries can be fear, anxiety, doubt, or even negative influences around us. But just as David experienced God's deliverance, we too can trust that he will bring down our enemies and protect us. "Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident." This is one of the most powerful verses in this psalm. David speaks here of unshakable confidence, even in the face of overwhelming threats. Today, the war can be seen as the internal battles we face daily, whether at work, in our relationships, or even in our spiritual lives. This passage reminds us that, no matter the size of the battle, we can remain at peace if our trust is firmly placed in the Lord. One of the most touching parts of the psalm is when David expresses his desire to seek God's presence. "One thing I have desired of the Lord, that I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple." This reveals the essence of a life devoted to God. It's not just about asking for deliverance in difficult times, but about seeking constant communion with him. Today, when so many distractions pull us away from God, this is a powerful reminder that our greatest pursuit should be his presence. Dwelling in the house of the Lord, spiritually speaking, means living in constant communion with him, worshiping him, and learning from his wisdom. David also gives us a promise of protection. "For in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret place of his tabernacle, he shall hide me. He shall set me high upon a rock." The image of God as a refuge is central to understanding his protection. In times of distress, we can hide in God, knowing he will shelter and sustain us. The tabernacle here represents the holy presence of God, and this image gives us the assurance that when we seek refuge in him, we are safe. In today's world, amidst adversities and spiritual attacks, God continues to be the safe place where we can find peace and protection. David then makes a declaration of victory. "And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me." This part of the psalm reminds us that after the battles and adversities, God gives us victory. He not only protects us during trials, but also lifts us above the circumstances. It's a promise of triumph. that suffering and struggle are not the end of the story. Today, this truth is a powerful reminder that the difficulties we face are temporary, and God's victory is certain for those who trust in Him. Finally, David concludes with praise. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. The response to God's protection and provision is praise. This song of victory is our way of acknowledging that God was present in every detail, from moments of hardship to final triumph. Today, we must remember to thank God for His interventions in our lives, recognizing that even in the toughest battles, He deserves all our praise. Application for today: Psalm 27 is an anchor for those in the midst of struggles. In modern times, adversities can take many forms: personal, spiritual, emotional, or relational crises. But just as David trusted in the Lord as his light, salvation, and strength, we too are called to do the same. The first lesson we learn here is the importance of trusting God as our source of light. He lights our path, even when we are surrounded by darkness. In a world where fear can paralyze us, this psalm challenges us not to fear, but to trust God, knowing He is our protection and strength. The second lesson is that we must seek God's presence above all else. David desired to dwell in the house of the Lord, and this pursuit is essential for us as well. Today, seeking God's presence amidst the chaos is what will bring us peace and direction. Finally, the psalm reminds us that victory is certain for those who trust in the Lord. Even though the battles may be intense, God lifts us above the difficulties and grants us victory. And when that happens, we must remember to sing praises to Him, acknowledging His goodness and faithfulness in every detail.